Good. Okay, so now we're going to talk about dynamic balance. So important things to remember here is that you always want to have control of your body. If you're moving, generally it's a lot like just like walking. You're going to have a leg that you're going to be shifting onto and one that you're shifting off of. And so when you think about it, when you walk, when you shift onto that front leg, that frees up your back leg so you can then swing it through and take your next step. So when you're moving dynamically, you want to be very aware of which leg you're loading and which leg you're unloading, because the one you're offloading is the one that you're going to be able to reposition in wherever you need it to essentially catch yourself as you're moving. Or if you were to be losing your balance and falling, you would want that to be like your kickstand to get out in front of you, or whichever way you're going, catch yourself with that leg. So what is the offloaded leg becomes the loaded leg very quickly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move just kind of again, like walking, that kind of forward shift, kind of feel that. As you load one, you're freeing up the other. But what you can do there to make it a little more dynamic is you can shift forward, you can shift backward. Catch yourself on the front leg, catch yourself on the back leg. Do that a few times. You can switch like that. You can do a couple steps, kind of stop, couple steps back, stop. Try to flow freely through your upper body. It'll help you to really get a feel for this and to adjust your balance as needed. Then the other one we can do is kind of a sideways one. We can do like a shuffle, like this. Also notice here, sideways is a little different because if I'm going this way, if I'm loading this leg, I don't have a lot of options if I have to step with that. So I can take a short step here, which is the easiest, take a short step here and then shift my weight here, then I can step. If you're in an act of desperation, like you're falling, if you have the ability to, you can actually push real hard with that leg and get yourself over to lift this one up. Or, which is a little more risky, you could cross over. But again, if it's a desperate move, you may not have time to think about it. So it's good to practice all of those so you have a good sense and muscle memory to be able to adapt to the situation. So again, if I'm shifting here, I take a short step and then here. So it's kind of like line dancing or something. You kind of have this little shuffle. You want to feel that movement and that control, and that, again, which side is your loading side, which side is your offloading side. And then you can do something with like a crossover. And again, I'm going to use my upper body here. I'm going to kind of counter that to really be able to manage my weight. So if you do it faster as you progress, you can do something more like this, where you can kind of adjust up top as need be, which is going to give you a much more refined skill set in managing that. And then we can basically take the combination of the forward backward. The other thing with that is you can use that for pivoting, which a lot of people, when they turn or pivot, they tend to pivot on their loading side. So unless you're a ballerina who's good at like pirouettes, I wouldn't recommend that. It's a good way to twist yourself up, injure your knee perhaps, or at the very least lose your balance, because if your foot's not moving, your body moves, it's easy to get off center there. So what we're gonna do then is we're gonna practice this kind of like, imagine you're in the center of a circle and you're just rocking forward and backward like we already did with our forward weight shift. But if you start turning as you do that, that'll give you a better sense of movement. And again, if you think fluidity like dancing, it becomes a lot more natural and easy to get this kind of movement here. And then you can just kind of practice turning yourself and keeping yourself tall and balanced here. And you can do it pretty fluidly and easily in a way that's not going to cause you harm, or where you're not going to lose your balance so easily. And then, of course, to put it all together, dancing, put on your favorite kind of music and just practice. You can try to freestyle, forward, backward, side to side, turning, kind of like line dancing again. Think of like those different directions you might be moving for good practice. And that's an easy thing to follow and keep up with, because most people like some kind of music, so that's good. All right.